let's take it away. So welcome to week 4 of Blitz. We are so incredibly happy to have you guys here. This is one of my favorite topics, and it is about vision casting for your team, right? And this topic came on really strong for me, and it really got me thinking when I had a young lady say to me who's, she's doing great. She's a 2-star executive. She gave up her teaching profession to stay home. And when she talked about it, not with a lot of pride. Like if you ever talk with like Lisa DeMayo or Susan Sly, they hold their business in such high esteem. The way that some of the millionaires talk, they're so darn proud of what they've accomplished, right? Do you guys hear it in their tone? Just comment yes in the chat if you hear how the millionaires talk, right? With confidence, with pride, with almost their chin is up in the air and their shoulders are back. There's a different posture, yet this young lady says, well, I'm only a 2-star. And to me, I thought, only a 2-star? My gosh, she's got a lot to be proud of. She's home raising 2 kids. She had the courage to give up her teaching profession and pursue a whole different career after she spent so many years in college. And she said, I'm only a 2-star? Well, I thought we've got to get this straight. We've got to get people to really stand firm in what they are, in who they are, and in what they do, because you've got to come from a place of strength, whether you're a 2-star or a 12-star, because how are you going to cast that strength and that power to somebody else if you don't feel it in yourself? Would you guys agree? Raise your hands if you agree, right? Because it's all in how you come at people. Not at them, but how you speak to people, right? So the first point, and Lisa and I are going to give you 7 keys tonight about really building that belief system. So the first thing that I want to talk about is when you cast your vision, you have to be a solid 10 out of 10 in 5 of the 5 belief systems, right? And I'm going to write them down over here. So number one, you have to believe in the products. How many of you guys are product believers because you had that, holy cow, you had that, holy cow, I just ate a bag of Skittles and I pooped out rainbows, right? So many of us, we're so passionate about the products because we had such an amazing experience, right? And it's not just about weight loss. If you're looking for people who are overweight, man, you better watch Ice a Movie because you're doing it wrong. What are some of the things that we've gained? We've gained energy, better sleep, mental clarity, better productivity at work, clearer skin. Man, I saw Stephanie Blackbird's Rejuvenate picture. Her whole face changed. So this is a lot more than weight loss. We've got the best products. How many of you guys believe 100% in our products? Right? Over 60 top-of-the-line products. John Anderson is a genius. So number 1, we've got the products, okay? Number 2, you've got to have 100% belief in our company. Guys, this is a legacy company. Jim had to do with the Cambridge diet. I don't know how many of your mamas were using a Cambridge diet in the 1980s, but this was very popular. He took that company to the top. Jim is so smart. I think he graduated high school when he was like 15 years old. Kathy maxed out 3 different compensation plans. Jim created our compensation plan. And when they came out of retirement not to make more money, but really to create a legacy company. And this is the legacy company. You can will this down to your children. So this isn't the type of place where you've got to work hard at 20 different places. No, my friends, you build here and you can leave this to your kids, to your spouse. This is a legacy company. This company is going to allow me to do some incredible things with my life. Open an orphanage, make a domestic violence shelter for women who are seeking help. Anything, big things. Really big things. So the second thing that I really want you guys to believe in is the company. Know the story. Who are Jim and Kathy? Where do they come from? Right? And the next thing I want you to believe is on the compensation plan. If you've earned at least one cycle with Isagenix, raise your hand. With no network marketing experience. I see Jojo Bennington on the call. ISA Millionaires. Jojo, have they ever missed a paycheck? They have never missed a Monday. The compensation plan is ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. There's so many ways to get paid. From rank advancement bonuses for new people, they put the money up front. Get them paid. Show me the money. Right? Rank advancement bonuses, double PIBs. Guys, double PIBs is a bonus. This doesn't have to be. They can pull it off the table anytime. You're getting team bonuses. Anytime anyone underneath you, whether they're 5 levels down or 900. It's funny, the first time I met Jimmy Smith and I told him who I was under, he laughed and said, "Nice to meet you. You're about 1 million underneath me. But I thank you for your service each and every day." My cycles impact Jimmy Smith. Is that crazy? So there's no cutoff. And the best part is that once you max out your business center 225 cycles 3 times, you get to do it all over again, but it's even easier because the 2/3 is here. It's all, if it was 50-50, it would be tough. It's 1/3 to 2/3. You keep cycling, but then they throw in the holiday money. Then they throw in the director pool. Then they throw in the executive match. You get 10% of what your people are making. You go into any store and you find me, I challenge you to find me any manager that gets paid 10% of what his people are making. You have got to believe in the compensation plan. You can go to Isagenix Business. You can watch Jim Coover train live on it. And it is mind-blowing that they pay you for being better than your average. So if you're in the director pool and your average cycle is 4 times and you outgrow that cycle just by one each week, you qualify. Here's more money. Just for doing a little better, we're going to give you a little more. This is amazing. So really, believing in the compensation plan is so, so important. Believing in the company. And for me, believing in network marketing was a tough one, right? So number 4, believing in network marketing. I had a great executive call today, and Jeff Tinney said, my wife was doing amazing in another company. I wanted to be a supportive husband, and I wanted to do whatever I could to believe in her. I own a brick and mortar business, 2 of them. I knew nothing of network marketing, but I wanted to be a great husband. He said, Ange, I read Robert Kiyosaki's book, Business of the 21st Century. He said, and I had goosebumps because for the first time, I knew that my wife saw and knew something that I didn't. He goes, not only did I support her, he goes, I was all in. And that's so cool to me. I read a book called Yarnell, Mark Yarnell, First Year in Network Marketing. And this was an eye-opener. I read Eric Worre, Go Pro. And in the very first chapter, he talked about blue-collared workers, white-collared workers, people who work in the stock market. And with each industry, with each profession, he showed me why network marketing is better. And even though I never had belief before, little by little, I started building belief in the industry. Anytime I went to an event, because that's what they said I had to do, right? I was coachable. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing it. When I got to the events, That's how I got to know more about our company, the industry, Jim and Kathy. So are you doing things that are going to allow you to grow in these 4 systems, in these 4 belief systems? Because I want to tell you this, when you grow yourself in all 4, and number 5, which is the toughest for most, is belief in myself, right? David Wood says, wouldn't it be, and I love his accent, he goes, wouldn't it be wonderful if I woke up every day and I looked at myself in the mirror and said, you are bloody awesome. And you know what? To look in the mirror and tell yourself that you're bloody awesome, it takes freaking hard work, guys. Your brain, it's a caveman brain. It's not programmed like that. Your caveman brain has taught you to survive, right? Hunting skills. Who likes me? Who doesn't like me? Where do I fit in? I don't fit in. I'm not good enough. I'm too fat. I look terrible in this. This is horrible. They're talking about me. They're thinking about me. Guess what? Nobody gives a flying hoot about you. They're all worried and stuck in their own minds. You know what I mean? Half the stuff we thinking and half the stuff that we are saying to deter ourselves, it's not even true. Right? Leaders are constantly working on themselves. How do you work on yourself? Go do what the successful people are doing. Chris Harder, maybe 3 years ago, told me about Landmark Forum. I didn't know what it was. I didn't care what it was. I signed up for Landmark Forum because Chris Harder said that him and Lori do a lot of self-development, and I went. I didn't care what it was. I just went. Going to Tony Robbins was a huge thing for me. Developing myself when it came to Tony Robbins. When you grow up, even so many great, powerful books, but when you grow up and, your family is destroyed by money, or you have immigrant parents who say, money makes the world ugly. And, when you've seen all these terrible things that money has done, it's a lot of people sabotage themselves, right? You ever hear of the person who won the lottery and lost it all? Because they never really knew how to handle the money. They never really saw themselves with that millionaire mindset. So building belief really, really takes some time, building belief in yourself. But it is the most strongest, powerful thing that I can teach you guys when it comes to casting a vision. How can you possibly share your excitement about the products with someone if you're like, they kind of sort of work? And, I'll have a meeting. You guys come to the meeting and maybe one day I'll be successful like them. I was having every month I was having a meeting in my community room, and all I kept saying was, I'm going to be at the top. I would love for you to come with me. How did I know? I had no idea, but some were crazy enough to believe me. And I wasn't going to stop. I just kept saying it until I believed me, right? It takes time, but what I want to share with you guys is that everything you do duplicates. Leading your legacy has to come in your business, it has to come in your team, and it has to come in your home. Every day, I'm so proud of you guys for plugging in, for being on the calls, because the more we grow, the more we learn, the better we become. And we all hear it, that, the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. It's 100% true. If you're the kind of leader that's kind of flaky and you're sometimes into it, but not really, and everything else is more important than your isogenics business, you're not going to have a very powerful team. And if you do have a powerful team, they're going to be resenting you. They're going to be like, I'm working my butt off and this person's doing diddly squat. And they're going to start being resentful. So leading by example. How do I lead by example? Every year I strive to be a top recruiter. If there's a bonus, I'm playing for it. I mean, Lisa and Josh will tell you, we don't care if they're offering a free tote bag or if they're offering a trip to, Garden State Mall. We're playing for it. No matter what Isogenics is offering, I am in that competition. Every day we're checking those derby points, right? Like psychotics. I don't care for a cruise. I get seasick. I just want to win the darn thing so I could show my team you can do it too. Right? Vicky's laughing. We're very competitive. So if there's a bonus, my friends, you got to go for it. You got to make sure your team knows about it. You got to have them lock arms and go for it. Nothing that I'm not willing to do myself would I impose on my team. If I'm telling them you need to participate in Blitz for 12 weeks because it's going to change your life, I'm here every day for 12 weeks. You know, when we slow down, the team slows down, and the leader really does become irrelevant. So, you know, just remember that. Keep the baby comes in here today as I was doing my shout outs, and she says to me, how long are you going to be doing Isogenics, my 5-year-old? I'm like, what do you mean? Like now or forever? She's like, how much longer? And I thought she meant like, let's get out of the house. How long are you doing Isogenics for today? But I thought she meant like how long? And my instantaneous answer was for the rest of my life, because there's so many people out there that desperately need this. And you don't stop when you're successful. You don't stop, because by then it's in your blood. And you know that there's so many people out there struggling. And with that belief system and with putting yourself first and being a beautiful example, you know, your team, they're like your children. I would not ask my kids to brush their teeth, you know, twice a day. And I don't brush my teeth at all, right? You want your kids to pick up your habits, as I want my team to pick up my healthy habits. The second thing that I want to talk to you guys about is really don't lose hope and don't lose faith. Find the beauty in everyone. Some people, you know, we had a girl on the call today, Callie, and she was really quite inspirational. And she reminded me how scary this is for a new person. My friends, 4 years down the line, you forget. Don't forget, because you lose empathy. You always be reminded of what it was like in the beginning. Anytime someone posts their results, you commend them for their bravery. Anytime they're doing their thing and they're making a list and they're reaching out, takes a lot of courage. Don't take that for granted. And you know what? If someone says that they don't want to post or they're not ready to, they're terrified. Don't give up on them just because they're not ready to start building today. Love the heck out of them. Let them, you know, if they were to stop Isogenics tomorrow, you want them going and telling their friends what a beautiful coach you were, how wonderful the products that we have, and what a great experience. Because maybe now is not their time, but maybe someday it will be. So don't ever turn your back on anyone just because they're not ready at this particular moment, right? So that's number 2. Don't lose hope. Spend time with people. Let your vision, let your positive attitude, let your beautiful heart rub off on them. And number 3 is finding people who are open. You know, I heard at a generic conference, Randy Gage, who I'm crazy about him. He wrote the book, I think, Making the Circles or Finding the Circles. If anyone knows it, just correct me. Making the First Circle Work. Was that the name of it? I don't know. If someone thinks of it, just unmute and tell me. But you have to find people who are open. Randy Gage said, look, some people are going to be allergic to your products. Some people are going to be allergic to hard work. And that's just a part of life, right? This is not for everyone. It's not. It's our job to find the few good ones who are ready, who are open, who are positive. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about this, is that you get to work with people who are awesome, who are passionate. If someone's like, this sucks, that stinks, that was terrible, I don't have to work with them. I'll certainly support them, but is this someone who I want to be with every day and have fun with and have in my business? Chances are they're not. People sometimes are very negative on Facebook. Those are not the ones that I'm recruiting. They're not. And sometimes somebody just needs a sprinkle of our magic, right? And maybe their attitude would change. So finding people who are open and really continuously enrolling, bringing on new blood, sharing this vision. That's number 4, enrolling until. And enrolling is so easy. I mean, how do we get our people set up for success? Getting our people set up for success, I mean, we have a simple method. You are exchanging a 30 to 40 year career to find success on average 3 to 5 years. Yes, that's network marketing. Finding success in 3 to 5 years. It takes time to develop your talent, but you truly are compressing 30 to 40 years into 3 and 4. So some things that we do, it's put the products in your body. Very easy. Have them make a list, right? But a list of 100 names. After that, you teach them about Facebook, how to post on Facebook. You offer to do a couple 3-way phone calls for them. You offer to do a couple launch parties for them. Setting someone up for success is not hard, but they also need your support. You can't just say, all right, go ahead and build a business now. You know, yes, you're enrolling people, but you also have to take time to develop. So enroll, set that appointment to walk them through the program, set a day 5 phone call where you can talk about the opportunity, asking them to write down 100 names, do a launch with them, teach them to post regularly, getting to the core of their why, and helping them set their monthly goals. Right? That's you being a great coach. That's how you support someone. Not doing the work for them, not doing calls for them, not running their business. My gosh, you can't run 2 businesses at once. You want to eventually give your kids the independence. I always compare my team to my children. You want to grow them so eventually they can leave the house. Right? And when they leave the house, you're proud. You're not like, that son of a gun left me. You were like, I can't wait to watch her shine. Right? There's so much pride. There's so much joy when you've helped somebody grow their wings and now they're out there changing the world. It's incredible. So that's number 4. Number 5, really important, is finding out what drives people, okay? And this was a tough one for me to realize because I thought everyone was motivated by money. That's just what I assumed. How could somebody not want an extra $200 a week? It wasn't even the amount of money. I mean, my first Isogenics check was $212, and I was lit up. I thought, my God, are they going to send me more every time I find more people? It was like an eye-opener for me. Guess what? Not everybody is excited by money. You have to ask good questions to figure out what motivates people. Some people, oh, Jojo, $7.50. That was the $10 pib, remember? Yeah, but different things light people up. For some people on my team, they like friendly competition. They said, I can win this trip to Maui, easy peasy. Another person wants to change the world. You know, I love that color code personality test. And if you just Google free color code personality test, you'll really see what drives people. If you're red like me, red is like power, competition, really like money. White, Lynn Hagedorn is white. And she was a physical therapist, a hand therapist. She said she was not motivated by the money. She wanted to help people. She wanted time freedom. She really believed in changing the world, right? Other people who are yellows, any yellows on our team? Man, yellow people have a good time. Josh, Sophia, Ed Golden. Yellow people, they will be the first one at the event. They will be the last one at the party, closing down the house. Let's go. Those are the people that on my team that I say, okay, let's have an event. You get everyone to go. They're the life of the party. I'm not like that. I want to get home and take my bra off. I don't want to be all night. but figure out what motivates people, right? How are you supposed to help somebody cast a vision if you're like, you can make money, 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 and you can be at the top of the company and you'll be the richest one and you'll be making $1 million. And somebody says, I don't care about that. For me, $1,000 a week is more than enough, and I'm totally content, right? Asking great questions. You've got to figure out what their dreams are. You've got to figure out what makes someone tick. And you really, I love the question. If time and money were of no issue, what would you be doing today? Right? If you can dream as big as you want to, where would you be? Somebody said they want to travel. They want to go to Guatemala. Somebody wants to help the adoption cause. They want to adopt children. Who wants to be a foster parent? Who wants to do something, for humanity? So figure out what really drives people. So Lisa, do you want to work on number 6 and 7?
Absolutely. Angela, you're so motivating. We're so blessed to be on this with you and to do this with you. Fellow red, it's Can you just mute yourself out, please, buddy?
Hang on, Lisa. I'll do mute all, and then I will unmute you. There you are.
Awesome. So part of casting a vision to your team and keeping everybody excited and motivated is really kind of working on you. Did you already do as your business grows, you grow? Because I feel like you said 6, but 5 was not.
I didn't, but go for it. You awesome. Add whatever you want. They don't have to be numbered.
I love it. That's good. So one of the things that Josh and I realized quickly is that we really needed to stay in touch with working on ourselves. And a really big factor in that was going to one of our first University in Actions and hearing David Wood say, your business only grows to the extent that you grow yourself. And it is so true that, if you're not working on yourself as a leader or yourself as a network marketer, you're essentially standing still. And what we've been learning, in the past few months and beyond that is that standing still is essentially moving backwards. It is not standing still and not going anywhere. It is moving backwards.
Scary, huh? For me, that's like the worst. The biggest fear is the thought of going backwards and not seeing growth.
Absolutely. And I think the most amazing times in our business have been when we've put the extra work in on ourselves and into our team, and doing stuff like this where we're working on a blitz, where we have moments and weeks and hours that we put back into ourselves to really grow. And a prime example of that, if you all don't know this, Angela works her butt off on these calls. She's been working all week on this lesson plan for tonight, and it is, it shows in her paycheck. It really, really does. And the fact that she opens this up to cross teams and people that are not financially connected, it just goes to show you that what you typically think of your investment does not necessarily mean isn't the exact equation of what you're going to get back. If you believe in karma, if you believe in sending out messages to the universe, you believe in the fact that if you're giving, that you're going to receive. And it does not matter that you only give to your team or you only give to your pay leg. It matters that you are open and you are giving and you are growing yourself constantly. And that if you have not put a lot of work into yourself, or if you haven't even read a GoPro or a network marketing book, I urge you to do so and see what happens. I think one of the most pivotal points for me was reading the Miracle Morning for Network Marketers. It was a huge deal for me. It taught me so much about what it means to be a professional network marketer. Whereas prior to reading that, this was a hobby for me. I did it a lot, but I really never took it seriously like a business. And the more you put that time in, the more you realize all the different steps and efforts that you need to make to really create this as a real authentic business for yourself, because it really is. I love what Angela said about, trading in a 40-year career to find success in 3 to 5 years. Josh and I are in our 5th year now. And that's, we've found success. And as long as you're doing the do and you're showing up and you're going first and giving others permission to do it too, you will find success. The only way to not find it is to quit or to stand still. And then the next point's actually perfect with this, because one of the things that is important here is managing your frustrations and staying in the game. We're all people. We all have lives. Some of us have children, some of us have other jobs, some of us have family, in-laws, whatever, and life can get a little funky. And you have to manage your frustrations with that, and you also have to manage your frustrations within your team. This is not all roses, just like a regular job. I mean, I can tell you that from being a former corporate, I always want to say drone, but it's but being from the land of the corporate, that was no bed of roses whatsoever. I did not enjoy waking up and having to go there every day. And I was thinking about this the other day, about how there was really the only thing I enjoyed about that was I had a false sense of security. It was something that I was comfortable with because I knew it, and I could trust in the fact that every day I woke up and I drove for an hour and a half to get into Boston, pay $55 to park, and make probably $200 for the day, and pay daycare too. It was kind of a backwards mentality, but I knew that every day I had that to do, and I knew if I showed up, I made my money. Now, in this business, you don't have that. In this business, you're answering really to yourself or to your family or whatever your why is. But there's so many frustrations that will come up. You're going to have those horrible wall-kicking days. You're going to have those days where you have 20 returns. You're going to have those days where you just landed your first business builder pack, and then they call you 20 minutes later and say, oh, I just called customer service and canceled it. They're going to do that. And all you have to do is just manage that. Whether it's something good happening or something bad happening, you're going to have a reaction and a response to something. So all you need to do is manage your response to it, manage your reaction. David Wood talks about this too. It's only a problem if you make it a problem.
100%.
So what? If somebody returns something, that's okay. They had buyer's remorse. You can hone your skills and you can work on that. And you can call them up and say, hey, let me understand why, so that I can be better the next time. Whenever I get any negative feedback or any cancels or anything, I call them up and I say, can you walk me through the process of what you're thinking, just so I can be better the next time? And then I am better the next time. And it doesn't matter that they just canceled or returned or think I'm part of a pyramid scheme. It's okay. Because now I know how to handle a lot of those things because I ask them. I don't just, go into the witness protection program and go, oh my gosh, they're never going to talk to me again and I'm scared and all that. You just ask them questions, just like you did when you first got going with them.
Yeah. 100%. And I feel like in the beginning, maybe I wouldn't have asked questions. Like in the beginning, if somebody enrolls with someone else and not me, I would be like, I'm going to block her. I'm going to totally delete her and not even. But now I feel like, I asked the guy, I said, Mike, why did you enroll with her instead of me? I said, I would love to know what I could do better for the next time. And I think it just makes you just that ability to want to learn and give something back to your team. Because anytime you learn or grow, the team learns and grows. And one of my favorite things is we aren't responsible for someone's success or failure. That's up to them. My responsibility is to point them in the right direction, to give them the tools, to set them up for success, to really cast a big vision of things that I know and I believe, but whether they want to do this or not, it's not up to them, and I think like getting frustrated or upset with someone, it's not beneficial. That's not how you get leaders. Leaders are the ones that are going to show up to calls. They're going to do the required stuff. They're going to be present. I mean, you're just making a recommendation. Get to the event. Whether they go to the event or not is totally like out of your hands. What is big for me and what I try to implement every day is that my words have to match my actions, right? And for every rejection and for everything that's gone wrong, it was basically like God or karma's way of teaching me how to do better, how to do it the right way. If I wasn't acknowledged by my upline, if I didn't receive a lot of recognition of whatever, use that as an experience to be the kind of person that does recognize your people and love hard on them because you didn't receive that. Everything today, I was talking with one of the girls. She goes, I feel so pressured. I said, instead of using the word like I feel pressured, I said, why don't we put a positive spin on it and say, why don't we use the word urgency? There's an urgency to do 20 and 30 to this month. Right? Don't say pressure. Our words are so important, and you really either speak life into someone or you speak like, negativity onto someone. So I think I love your point about really taking the time to grow personally and professionally, because when you do, it directly affects your family. It directly affects your organization, everything, just the verbiage, having more patience. Like I look at Cindy Walters, who has like 15 executives, and I ask her all the time, what is it that you do? And I don't think that she's doing anything different. I think it's her. I think because she's such a lovely, beautiful, patient person, she has that ability to develop her people. So what are you going to be that kind of leader that prints out that roadmap to executive, that keeps a file with your person, that checks in and says, what can I do to help you? How many Zoom calls are you going to do with your team, whether it's to help them with a live online launch or coming to their house? It really is the daily action every day. And, I tell you, when we choose to grow with Isogenics, we're in the best company ever. And you have to maintain a good, positive attitude. When somebody says, well, I've done Herbalife, I wouldn't say ever, oh, I've heard so many things about Herbalife. Are you lucky you're here? The first thing I say is, you know what? I don't know enough about that company to speak about it, but I would love to tell you more about Isogenics. Right? Because when you are that person who doesn't talk bad about people, products, other companies, people see something positive in you, right? People want to join you because of your positivity. People are not going to join you if you're going to be that person that's going to constantly poo-poo other people and other products and other things. So go ahead, Lisa. Were we up to number 7? Oh, are you muted? How did you guys mute yourselves? Hold on. Hold on. If there wasn't a blooper, it just wouldn't be one of our Blitz calls.
Thank you.
There you are. What? I don't know what happened.
He muted us, and then we couldn't unmute ourselves.
Oh, good Lord.
I just wanted to add in one more thing on managing frustrations, and I think one of the big things that we hear from other people, and it was one of the biggest things that we struggled with until we had a conversation one day with Dave MacArthur, is how do we would get frustrated with our team. They weren't showing up to events, they weren't showing up to meetings, and we were doing everything all the time. And it's like, and so many people get frustrated with that. And Dave simply told us, he said, find a new team. And we were like, what are you talking about? How do you can't just get rid of our team and find a new team. He's like, yeah, find a new team. Go out and find the people that are willing to put the work in, and do the do and link arms with them. And then guess what? The rest of them just come back around because they see what's happening. And whenever you're frustrated with anything, any specific item, you just do that better. If people aren't showing up to team calls or people aren't showing up to events, you make sure you're on all of them. You make sure you go to the events. You be the leader. You do the do, and either the new people will come along and do that same do with you, or the old people that weren't doing it will start to do it because they see what's going on and they're still playing their getting ready to get ready or comparison game and go, wait a minute, well, okay, I see them doing all that stuff. Maybe I should do that too in order to get to that place.
Yes.
That's the last point I have on managing frustration. And the last thing that we wanted to talk about was, and I think this is probably the hardest piece here, and it is the hardest for me. And I think as you do find success in this business, this piece keeps changing and it keeps growing. And it is the hardest thing to stay connected with. And that's your why. Honing in on your why and helping others do the same. And quite frankly, if you are not in a place where you can really hone in on your why, it's going to be really difficult for you to help others do that and really, wrap up this whole thing of casting that vision. So Josh is going to actually jump in and talk a little bit about that because this is one of his specialties. So
Yeah.
Thanks, Lise. Thanks, Angela, so much. So back when we got started, I brought this into my clinic for the science. I didn't want the business. I brought it in because I saw something in the science that said, I have to look at this and see if this is really something different, something special. And obviously, thank goodness we did. And we brought it in to start with the system, with the products, to help our patients get to another level of success with their health. And what slowly took place was undeniable. It was just the financial aspect of that was just, you can't not look at it. You had to look at it. And we had a conversation one time, and we saw another, not little, but viable stream of income coming into the clinic, coming into our life from simply helping people get healthy. And it was mind-blowing because, yes, we knew about network marketing, but that's not what we brought in. We brought in phenomenal, superior science, and that came along with it. So my why in the beginning was, let's get people healthy. And it quickly switched over to, I was the guy with a very busy clinic who didn't see my kids in the morning. I didn't see them at night, working 6 days a week, had the golden handcuffs, and there was not a lot of freedom there. And I had a couple other companies that I built, and I was stressed out. I was overworked. I wasn't available for my kids and family. And when this took shape, I'm like, oh my goodness, there's actually a way off of that hamster wheel. And so what I talk about now, which I didn't talk about before, I had those drunk monkeys in my head. I love talking about the science, but I never spoke about the business outside of the clinic because I was the one thinking, oh, they're going to judge me. He just wants to sell me on this to make some money. When I'm thinking, oh my goodness, brother, you need this. This is an exit strategy. And that's all I talk about now, Angela. If I'm not lecturing about science, I'm talking about an exit strategy. And a great thing that I talk to, and I say to a lot of people is, are you going to be doing this for the rest of your life? What's your exit strategy? And most people have never been asked that question. Most people in their profession, their career, have never had someone say to them, what's your exit plan? Most people say, what are you talking about? What's your exit strategy? You're going to be doing this for the next 30, 20, 40 years? Most people say, yeah, until I retire. And so now, it's simply, are you open to looking at something that I found a few years ago, which has completely changed my path? That's it. And I shut up because I used to not shut up, and I used to repel people away from me because I was so excited about this. That's all I say. Are you open to learning something that could absolutely change your financial footprint if you're willing, if you're open? This may or may not be for you. So I love this exit strategy. My why now is for time with my family. My why now is to give back to the parents of NICU babies. You've heard Lisa and I talk about that. Our why changes. But if I don't share my why, I feel like the conversation goes dead. So what I what I train on, what I implore myself and what I coach people with is share your why. Why are you doing this? Because when you share with someone or your prospect why you're doing this, you become much more relatable. You build that bridge of trust that Eric Ward talks about. The rest is simple. And when I say simple, this business became so much fun when I stopped caring about what their decision was. This became so much fun when I knew my job was to just share this. I don't get any no's anymore. No one says no to me because I don't let them. My job isn't to.
More fun when you met Angela Maresca.
Much more fun. Much more fun. That's it. There's no more fun to be had once I met you. Absolutely. But if we detach ourselves from the outcome, see a lot of, and we've all been there. I've been there. I got to get this. I got to have them enrolled. I got to make my business. That's not how it goes. Your job, our job is simply just to share. We let them decide. Because you know what? You said this beautiful, it was either last week or the week before. This business isn't for everybody. We know we can help everybody. It's for those who want it. It's for those whose timing is right. And maybe this person's timing isn't right. Don't try to pull them. Always be there. Love them. Check in with them respectfully. But go with the people that want to go. And if our job is just to share, no one can say no because you're just sharing. So the major takeaway from this is share your why. Tell people why you're doing this. Your why can change. That's okay. It's an evolving, living organism, this business. Yes. But share with them why you're doing this because you will find this to be a lot easier in terms of connecting and communicating with people.
And can I just ask you to comment, please, on one thing, Josh? A lot of people tell me that they don't have a great story. They want to wait until they get to the end of the road. And I tell them, you know what? It's not the end of the road that people are attracted to. It's the journey that you're on. When you are going through it, when you are honest, when you are vulnerable, when you are in the process of it all. I mean, the most attractive part of your presentation tonight was talking about how you felt before, saying, look, I was thinking about things all wrong, but as I evolved, my why evolved. I think that there's something very appealing about being vulnerable and telling people, you know what, I didn't know it all then. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still trying, but I'm coming at you from a place of heart. So can you comment on that a little bit?
Absolutely. We don't know what we don't know. And I say to people, look, I always say, are you open? I never say you're interested because they don't know what they're interested in. But if they're not open, yeah, you could get someone that says they're not open. I think they're going to not feel great about themselves after the conversation. I think most people will say, yeah, I'm open. And for me, it's coming at this place from a place where I thought I knew what I had to do. I thought I knew what the tracks were. And the cash flow quadrant, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I was like, oh my goodness, where has this been? My thought process is all wrong. You don't have to wait. And it's funny you brought that up because I was doing a call with someone and the exact same conversation came up. How do I talk about this? I said, dude, do you have one BV in your account? He says, yes. Then you're making residual income. You just haven't been paid yet, brother. We got to get out of the employee mentality. Employee mentality is I go to work, I punch a clock, I get paid. I go to work, I punch a clock, I get paid. I don't go to work, I don't punch a clock, I don't get paid. I get fired. Yeah. The entrepreneur mentality is I'm going to work my butt off right now and I might not get paid tomorrow. I may not get paid in a week. You know, if you're a business owner or know a business owner on here, you take out a loan. I started my clinic in 2000. I had to borrow 150 grand. Most businesses today, you're talking $250,000, $500,000 to start a business. You may not ever get paid back. If you own a restaurant, my goodness, the odds are, forget it. If you own
and what the business that you go into because you love baking cupcakes so much, now you're not baking cupcakes. You're the accountant, you're the lawyer, you're the janitor, you're the boss, you're handling payroll, you're doing all this other stuff that you never got into this for.
That's it. Mm-hmm. You're the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker, and you're so skewed, and you don't know how to focus. And part of my growth this year is the clarity and the focus. So I said to him, dude, have you made 1 point? He says, yes. I said, you're making residual income. You're talking about building a house on a strong foundation or just pitching a tent somewhere. No, you want to build this house. It's collecting. You're just not paid yet. Why do we need to wait until you're making $50 million a year somewhere or 10 million or 90,000 versus look what I'm doing now. This is my future and I see it growing in that back office. You can share that with someone. You can say, hey, Ben, listen, I just started this amazing thing. I'm actually building residual income right now. I'd love to share that with you if you're open. I know you've been struggling. Those conversations you and I have had, I've been thinking about that a lot lately. You hate working those 3 jobs. You never see your kids. Are you open to learning something right now? I could have 50 BV in my account from something I just bought, and maybe I didn't get paid yet. So when I cast that vision for them, it's like, oh my goodness, yeah, I'm getting paid now. I just didn't actually receive the money yet. And that's the biggest mind shift that we use, or that I use when I'm coaching someone, so they can start sharing this now before they've even made $1. And that's made all the difference in the world.
100%. And even before I had the income that I have today, I was borrowing other people's stories. I mean, I would tell my friends in Brooklyn, I'd be like, guys, there's this lady from Nebraska. She hit millionaire in 14 months. She said, there's more cows than people. We're in Brooklyn. There's more people. There's more people than cows. I'm going to be like her. Let's get there. You know, way before I had anything, I was borrowing others. I was borrowing their stories. I was borrowing their beliefs. I was trying to get people to the event so they can see, right? Casting a vision for your team, it's not statistical, numerical. It's you. It's your belief. It's your passion. It's your excitement. Are you casting that vision for people? So what I want everyone to walk away with tonight is talking better, talking stronger, talking with more confidence. Are you going to talk like that meek teacher who's still teaching this? Like, I just have a 2-star business. I'm only a teacher. Or are you going to present this to someone like you're Lisa freaking DeMayo? I am the CEO of my business. I come in when I want. I clock out when I want. I work with who I want. You know, you have to come from a place of strength. Josh said clarity. That's a big one. Today, during our executive call, we talked about the qualities of people that we wanted on our team. And it's funny because the qualities that we were looking for in others were the qualities that we've seen in ourselves. Some of those qualities, I'm looking for people who are coachable, right? Of course, I said that because I was very coachable. I listened. I was like a sponge. I didn't have an upline, but I listened to every podcast I could sneak into, from Team Success to Team Take Action. I was literally on Isagenix podcast every day, borrowing their beliefs. So coachability, finding people who are open-minded, people who are driven, determined, passionate, who have a desire to help people, ambitious, confident, authentic, have a strong why, are disciplined. How are you going to find those people if you're not presenting yourself from that place? I'm not going to say fake it until you make it. I'm going to say make it. Make it now. Put it in your heart, put it in your soul, and talk to people. I don't even know any of the ingredients in a shake, but when I talk about that shake, watch out. I could sell a shake to like my 90-year-old neighbor across the street who's hard of hearing, because I'm like, I'm just so passionate. I don't even need words for this. You know, that's what we want you to come from with people, right? We want you to cast a vision for your team strong because you believe enough in yourself, right? So when you talk to people about how incredible this is, they've got to feel it. They've got to see it. You cannot have great health if you are poor and struggling and stressed and worried. And you can have all the wealth in the world. And if you're sick, it's not going to matter, right? And we have an amazing place where health freedom, wealth freedom, freedom to live life on your terms is right here. It's here for everyone. And, you know, Lisa and Josh mentioned you're the CEO of your company. Being the CEO of your company is the easiest thing in the world because you get to open the doors, you get to close, you get to earn as much as you want to. But guess what? Being the CEO is also the hardest thing because you've got to be the boss here. You've got to treat this like a business owner, not like you come in. Somebody said to me, I'm so sorry, Ange, I didn't enroll anyone this week. I'm thinking, what the hell is she sorry to me for? It's her business, right? But still treating this like a worker. You guys don't owe us anything. You show up here because you want to. You don't show up because you don't want to. Everything is a reflection on you, but remember, they're watching. Your team is watching. They're going to see what you're doing and what you're not doing. You show up like the president. You show up like the CEO, whether you have a team of 3 or 303. And how you show up will duplicate in your downline. And how you treat this business will duplicate. And the pride that you handle this with. If I look in my appointment book and I have no appointments for the week, I have an anxiety attack. You know, sometimes I look at my auto ship and I think, man, auto ship is low. My cycles are going to be low. Am I going to sit there and say, all right, well, I'll take it, low auto ship? No, I'm going to say I'm going to enroll 5 people this week and I'm going to get that auto ship up. I'm the boss. I'm in charge of my business. Right? If I see somebody who has 48 members underneath her, I say, Jen, what are you doing? Let's get up a post. You already got 50 people underneath you. Reach out to people. Work with people. Enrolling someone is easy. It's like getting laid on your first date. Working with someone, giving them love, building a relationship, pouring belief in them. That's the art. That's the craft. That's the stuff that takes time, but that's the stuff that's the most rewarding, right? You pour into someone, you go to lunch with them, you teach them how to grow independently, and you create a millionaire. My gosh, is your family going to be set for life? And I can't tell you how rewarding it's going to be for you as a leader to say, I created my first millionaire. There is nothing better. I take more pride in the success of my team than my own. You know, believe that. There's nothing more rewarding than that. So let's hear some. Do you guys have anything else before we close out?
I wanted to add one thing in about all
Please.
the characteristics that you were talking about. And this is part of having posture and really, you know, presenting yourself as a success. All of those characteristics, if you do this as an exercise, write down all the characteristics of the people that you want in your business. That is your map to Crystal Executive. Write those characteristics down. A lot of people have 1 or 2 people in their business. They don't have a team of 20, 30 people where they can write names down of hopeful consultants. And so many people have that mindset that they already have to be there to get to consultant. No, a lot of this is good visualization. You want to attract the type of people you want in your business. So use those characteristics and put 5 of those characteristics down your left side of your map and 5 down the right, and start projecting that energy of those types of people that you want in your team. And I swear to God, you will be crossing out that characteristic and writing a name very, very soon. It happens all the time.
Absolutely. So that's going to be part of our homework tonight, and I'm writing it out right now for everyone. This was a great call, Lisa. Thank you so much, Josh. You guys are wonderful. It's always so exciting to work with people who match energy with you, isn't it? Doesn't matter if they're on your team or not. You know, anybody always brings value. And I have to tell you guys a very quick story. I was at the pizzeria. My kids were begging for pizza. We went to the pizzeria for lunch, and the guy forgot to charge me. Right. And I mean, I brought heroes home for my husband. It was a nice size order, and the guy forgot to charge me, and he said, "Don't forget your box. Thank you." And I could have walked out, and I didn't. And I said to him, you didn't ring me up for the order. And there was a person that was at the counter, and he said, wow, that was very nice. He said, would you believe that I found $300,000 in jewelry for an elderly woman? And I said, you know what? Good karma and doing the right thing is always worth more than anything else in life. I said, you know, you're going to get away with a $40 order. I said, but you'll get bit in the ass somewhere else down the line. And this guy started talking with me, and he said, I'm a retired sergeant from the 122nd Police Precinct in Staten Island. I said, isn't that funny? I worked for child abuse in Staten Island. I said, he goes, what do you do now? How are you in Jersey? I said, well, I had a little bit of success with a network marketing company called Isogenics. He goes, "You kidding me?" He goes, "My wife, she's in the car. She wants to do Isogenics." I said, "Well, I'm ready to talk to her." But look, one small good deed. Once, because I didn't beat that bill, I feel God rewarded me and introduced me to Anthony and Inga. You know, there's always good that comes out of the good things that you do. There's always a way to meet people, to start conversation. Humans are the same all over. We have so much in common. You know, start talking to this guy about pension and how little pension is and how high the living expense is. I went there with no interest other than to feed my kids who were like, you know, very hangry and getting on my last nerve. But look, I just met someone just like that. That's how you meet people every day. Keep trying to do the right thing. Keep trying to serve humanity. And I really feel that humanity will serve you back, right? You gotta do the right things for one another. I'm gonna, I don't even know how to do this.
And
Okay.
then
If you have any comments or takeaways or anything that you would like to add to the call, just unmute yourself. You can do that now. What are some takeaways that you guys took home tonight that you will work on this week? Don't make me call on you, people. I see Jennifer smiling and laughing. Let's go, Jen Cody. What do you got?
Well, this is a great call. Thank you so much for all the hard work that went into this, because I'm sure this was not easy to condense how many different things that, you know, could possibly help us. But managing frustrations was big for me this week. I had a rough start to the week. I was just like off my game. I felt like I wasn't sharing the right way. I wasn't doing things right. Then I was beating myself up, and it was just so hard. And I just kept trying to serve. And when I woke up in the morning, I'm like, I'm going to try to serve and just make this a better day. And today I ended up signing up somebody on my first call. They reached out to me. They had heard about me from somebody else. And so I got 3 enrollments this week for the first time ever. In 1 week, I was like, oh my God. So I am so thrilled that it worked out. And it was just about coming back to the belief and really, you know, working on myself and trying to keep things going. And it's such a hard thing to do what you said, like look in the mirror and praise yourself and be grateful for who you are and all this stuff. So every single one of these hit me in so many great, wonderful ways. I so appreciate the reiteration of all of them, because I feel like I'm getting stronger and stronger in every day. And I'm hoping to have that team that could also, you know, see the success and see the vision that I'm hoping to pave. So
yeah,
it's
and
great.
You certainly will. You have a great attitude, and the fact that you're here and you're on calls every week, it really speaks volumes. You already are an amazing leader, but you're going to be that much better and that much stronger because you're showing up, because you're doing the do, because you'll be able to share that story. Look, I was coming to people out of desperation and smell it. But now you can teach your team, just serve people, just come from the heart. That's a valuable lesson that you learned this week.
Yeah. And it's amazing how, like you're saying, it just shows up. Like it ends up, you end up meeting people, and then it's just a chance and it works. So that's great.
People like smell the desperation.
I definitely think so.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I was pretty stinky at the beginning of the week.
Well, you closed very strong, and I'm so proud of you. That was a great share.
Thank you.
Anyone else have a great share? Vicky, I see Vicky raising your hand.
First, I just want to say it was an amazing call. I love the Dunskys. I love the idea of how Lisa said, like putting in characteristics in the executive chart instead of names. So I've always done names, and you cross off a couple of them here and there, but I like the idea of finding certain characteristics that you like and people that you want to work with and why you want to work with them, and putting them in that, placing them in your tree for that reason.
One quality that you would look for in someone?
Caring, hardworking, passionate, coachable. There's so many.
Yeah.
So many that you want to look for. And then the other thing was how Josh said, like, kind of detaching yourself from the outcome. Share with everyone. They either want to know more or they don't, and you just move on. I think just detaching from the outcome is so important.
No hard feelings, right? It's not a personal attack. It has nothing to do with you. You're the sharer, and whether they want to do it or not, solely up to them. Let's give it up for Vicky, who did a Spartan race this week. She's a new mama, and she finished her Spartan race this weekend, which was very cool to see.
You should do the Tri-State Super with me.
Oh my gosh, I might need a little while. I'll come cheer on the sidelines.
Come visit.
We did one together like 3 years ago.
I thought we were going to die.
Oh my God. I was drinking a lot more shakes and eating a lot less pizza then. I might have to do a little prepping, few cleanse days.
Yeah.
Oh, does anyone else have any takeaways, anything that they want to add or contribute to the call? I see this tab that says hands raised, but I have no idea who's raising their hands. You can just unmute your line.
It might not be working. It didn't work for us. You had to unmute us.
Who said that?
Mike.
Oh, I think that people are unable to unmute. Okay, so just oh man, how do I do that? Okay, comment in the comment box or raise your hand if you'd like to contribute. Just say me in the comment box and I will try to find you. I see Jody and then I see Paula. Go for it, Jody.
Thank you. So something this week that really spoke to me was managing frustrations and don't lose faith and hope. I had something this week where I found out that another set of parents at our daycare has been doing isogenics and just started doing the business 2 months ago. And she's like number 52 on the cruise, like she's on fire, and signed up the owner's husband, which is someone that I started talking to months ago. And so I got really frustrated and got a little down and then said, nope, you know what? I didn't follow up well enough. I can learn from this. I can do better. But it put me in a funk for a couple of days. So it's really that managing the frustration and not losing hope and using every failure as a step forward to learn from it and figure out what I can do better. Because the truth is that I could have followed up better. I could have changed my approach. I could have had a direct conversation with him. So it was a good learning opportunity, but man, was it frustrating.
100%. Anytime I lost an enrollment to someone else, it felt like I just got like cheated on by a boyfriend. It was like, oh, like daggers to the heart. But I have to tell you, listening to Tony Robbins, people ask Tony Robbins, do you not get upset? Do you never get frustrated? He goes, shit, I do. He goes, I own 8 companies. He's like $6 billion. He goes, chances of someone not screwing up right at this given moment is slim to none. He's like, but you know what? I get upset and then I get over it. 30 seconds, he said, I don't hold it. And I think that's very important, is to look at the situation and say, you know what, his loss, because I would have been the best darn coach ever, but I wish him well on his journey. I hope that she supports him the way that she should, so Isogenics will have a long-lasting good taste in his mouth, and I'm going to move on. I'm going to go to 12 other daycares around and see who I can sponsor from there. That would light a fire under my ass to really start sponsoring people in the neighborhood before. But you gotta release it fast. Things like that happen to all of us. They happen to the top leaders in the company. People have signed with people. People have stolen people. You hear these things all the time. Just stand in honesty and integrity, dust it off, and keep going. The minute you let it cripple you, you're out of the game. And you know what? She's 52 today. Where's she going to be tomorrow? It's not how fast you're sprinting. It's longevity. I want to see you here, Jody, in 4 years from now. And you know what? Next month, you'll be number 52. Who knows? You never know. I look at the Dunskys. They're kicking my butt in that Derby challenge, and I'm like, good for them. And it really fuels me. I'm like, if these guys can do it, they have like 17 kids, they have like 12 businesses, and they're like rocking out. They're number 5. I'm like, what is my excuse? I don't have a chiropractor, Spinal Institute of America, whatever these guys do. Just let it fuel you and fire you, and just, wish her well. Be a better person. She's trying too. You don't know what her struggle is, what's going on. I always try to be empathetic and think of their story. Why did they get into this? Are they struggling? Are they suffering? I want everyone to be well, not just my family. So you're very strong. Consider it a win for you. Definitely not a loss. Yeah. And Paula, thank you for sharing, Jody. How about you, Paula?
Yeah. Hey, what a great call, Angela. Oh my gosh. You guys and Lisa and Josh always bring such incredible passion. One of the things that just like blew my mind, two things. One was when Josh said, even if you have one BV in your account, you're already earning residual income. You just haven't been paid yet. I was like, oh my gosh, that's mind blowing. So just to, be able to have a conversation with people to let them know what they've already earned, and the potential there is, gives me a whole new lease on that conversation. And the other thing that you said, Angela, was that we have to be continually growing ourselves and our belief in the company, in ourselves, and network marketing. That's not just a once and done, check the box, because there's always going to be resistance everywhere and around every corner. And when that resistance comes to attack and you don't have that continual intentional growth in your belief, then you'll fold. And these products and this company is so amazing and outstanding that I think doing that is just why you can come from a place of strength and boldness and confidence and have that posture like you do, and the Dunskys and Lisa DeMeo and all these others. So I stepped way out of my comfort zone this week at the hair salon and struck up a conversation with someone and made the connection, got the phone, did the whole bit. And, it's that felt amazing and it was so easy and it was so natural. And I was in my head over it. And once I get out of my head, it was just awesome. So.
Fantastic. And every time you do that, you get stronger and stronger and stronger. And like the old Italian mothers say, little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems. Same with a team. You got a little team, you got little problems. You got a big team, you got a whole other list of challenges that you're going to have to work on. With every star, there's different obstacles that you have to grow. With every rank advancement, there's different things that you have to learn. I had somebody say to me, my gosh, I had executives. So what do I do now? I don't know how to lead. And I'm like, every stepping stone has different things, different challenges that you've got to work on overcoming. But as long as you're open and listening and ready to work on yourself, you're not just going to grow. You're going to supersede. I mean, we came here for the shakes. All the other stuff that came, what a magnificent bonus. I'm a better wife. I'm a more patient mom. I understand that I'm a red and my kid is a blue. I can't say, get to your room and do the homework. She'll be like, oh. It's even taught me how to communicate better with my daughter, this isogenics. This is a true blessing. He's gassy. So, just think of all the wonderful things and really just do the do. You can get on the calls and that's fantastic. You can read the books and that's awesome. But unless you are out there practicing and getting out of your comfort zone and talking to people and sharing the opportunity, you're not going to give your self a chance to get better and grow. People are like, you're good. And I'm like, because I really embraced being bad. And that's how you have to think about it. Just go out there and keep helping people, keep changing lives one at a time. So I think we've kept everyone up. Josh.
Thank you for muting me. One more quick takeaway. We just had our team call before this call. Lenny Evans was on, and he said something that just blew me away. And I've heard him speak a million times, and I take massive notes. And he said, it's so easy to be grateful for what's great, but it's very difficult to be grateful for the things that suck. And his outlook is, listen, what Jody just said that's a victory. Like you said, Angela, you spun that around, and that's exactly what we have to do. Be grateful for the hard times. Be grateful for the crap that we go through, because every single nugget of that crap teaches us something. And then we're different tomorrow and different the next day. So tragedies, horrible things that happen in our relationships, horrible things that come across our world, situations that we're in, that's what builds up our armor to be better the next hour, the next day, and the next week. So be grateful for those quote unquote unfortunate circumstances, because they're going to teach us to be better.
Breakdowns lead to breakthrough.
100%. I call it embracing the suck. And you know what? This is with everything in your life. Look at this. My family is in Miami right now dealing with the hurricane. My kids are here making pictures for Baba. They're making welcome home wreaths. Welcome to New Jersey. They're so concerned during this time of tragedy that they're really doing such wonderful. My mom has come to visit a million times, and my kids are like, oh, hey, Baba. Like they haven't seen her in a year. But now, because this tragedy is going on, they're making posters and hearts for her, and we miss you, and we're so happy you're here. And they're like, oh my God, we have to go to the Russian store and get her all these Russian pastry. You know, anytime there's a tragedy or a rough patch in the road, use it as a wonderful opportunity to make some goodness, some happiness out of it. Like with the guy at the pizzeria, right? With everything in life, with the person that enrolled with the lady next door. You know, my neighbor told me she lost 40 pounds on Beachbody. I was like, yay. But you know what? I'm happy. She's healthy. Maybe we can do things together now. Maybe she'll have more energy. So, you know, just look at the bright side of everything and just use this opportunity to really, really learn and grow yourself. Isagenix is magnificent. And if not for this company, I mean, I wouldn't be half the person that I am today. So thank you, everyone, for being on the call. We're going to post the assignment and post the recording. Thank you to the Dunsky ZZs for stepping in always. I hope Laura and her family are safe in Florida, and we will see you guys next week.
Thank you, Angela. We love you. Thank you for everything that you do for us.
Love you guys. Great job.
Love you.
Good night, everyone.